Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am, as always, darthdevious, bringing you another video review. This time, Transformers Generations, the 30th anniversary, Springer. And he's another triple changer, you know. Side of his box, he's got Autobot symbol as opposed to the Decepticon symbol that Blitzwing had. Back of the box, you see his modes. Got his, you know, armored car mode, you know, helicopter mode, and robot mode. Alright. Come up and zoom in so you can read the bio if you want. Come down, there's his tech specs if you want to check them out. Alright, get the box out of here and let's take a look at Springer. And here he is in his car mode. I'm starting with car mode because I think out of the three modes this is the weakest. Not that it's not bad, but it's just, you know, a lot of people made a big deal about Blitzwing's tabbing problems. And there were a few tweaks that are done, and he tabs in nicely. Springer, especially in this mode, does not tab together very well. And when you try to tab some things in, other things come untabbed. I mean, he holds together nicely. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just that nothing is tabbed where it's supposed to be. So, you know, you can see, like, these should be up farther so that they close off the gaps. It doesn't happen. You know, what can you do? But it's a very cool car mode. I mean, really cool. Love how it's got the bigger wheel in the back, smaller wheel in the front, nice Autobot symbol in the front, some nice headlights. You know, it's not bad at all. It has this, like, you know, weird Batmobile looking thing. I mean, if this thing was painted black, it'd make a pretty cool Batmobile. You know, with the intakes in the front, there's even exhaust in the back for that. Yeah, it'd make a cool Batmobile. Either that or something out of Mad Max. One or the other. It fits either one. Now, on the bottom, I do have his sword tabbed in. Zach, you're supposed to put it under the landing gear. That's how it tabs in. Sorry, dude. Had to do that. And so that's nice storage for that. And he's got his gun up here, which I love how the gun has an elevation joint in it, because it's made mostly for this mode with the elevation. And it has friction launching, but what's cool is it only launches one missile at a time. So when you do that, push it forward, one at a time. And that is a nice little touch. And considering it's done without springs, that's kind of ironic on a figure named Springer that he doesn't have springs. Alright, enough of that. I'm bringing G1 Springer. And this is G1 Springer's car mode. And this figure is really old, and you can see it's discolored in places, the chrome's worn off, but best I could do right now. I really wouldn't want a shiny new knockoff. I think, you know, having the original one is a little better. Even though I don't have any of his weapons or anything. As you can see, you know, his car mode took a lot more imagination to see as a car, as a Cybertronian car. Doesn't hold together very well because of its age, but what can I do? Anyway, thought I'd show them off together, the two modes. And we're going to go to helicopter mode. Be right back. Alrighty, and here's Springer in his helicopter mode. And his helicopter mode's not too bad. What happens with the sword to become the rotor blade is really awesome. I'll show it off in robot mode, but what you end up with is a very nicely free spinning helicopter blade. That is really nicely done. However, again, a lot of things on him don't tab in. This part here doesn't tab in. Back here on his legs, things don't want to tab in right. If you try to force these together, this pops apart. These don't really tab into anything. This whole, you know, side section. But still, everything holds in place fairly well. I think Springer's been getting more of a pass than Blitzwing because everybody was more hyped for Blitzwing. But, you know. And you can put the gun here under his nose. There's also landing gear in there if you don't want the gun there. but I like having the gun there. It gives him a gunship mode. And it's not too bad. It's a little bit of a better mode than the car mode, in my opinion. But that's just me. Alright. Forgot to transform the G1 version. Shame on me. Not that that's going to take long. There's the G1 version's helicopter mode. I don't have the actual rotor for it. What I actually use is the rotor from one of the classics or universe versions of Springer that they did. It was a repaint of like Evac or something like that, and that kind of works. It doesn't spin very well, but it sits in there nicely, and for display purposes that would work. I'm actually curious to see if this rotor will fit in there. I'm fairly certain it will. We're going to try it right now. This is an experiment, live experiment here, people. And no, it does not, which is a shame. So yeah, so I use this one for him, but I don't really keep him in robot. I keep him in robot mode most of the time anyway. So there you go. And you can see how nicely that spins. I mean, just nicely. Really well done. Alright. Not much else to say about the helicopter modes. They're helicopter modes. You know. So I'm going to get him in robot mode. Where, again, this is another one where the robot mode is probably the best of the three modes. Be right back. Alright, here's Springer in his robot mode, and again, this is a mode where this figure just shines. I mean, he really has a lot more articulation than Blitzwing, in that he has, you know, a ball jointed head that can look up, look down, all around, and he has a waist. It's a little limited, but it's still there, and it gives him just enough posability to pull off some cool moves. He has a lot of nice ratchet joints. Shoulders are on ball joints. He's got a swivel there. Elbows, nice ratchet joints. He has a wrist swivel. Alright. Pin and socket at the hip, so he gets that movement. He's got the rotation there. Nice ratchets in his knees. Now his feet are a little limited. I mean, they move back and forth a little bit, but they don't really move. So I mean, that's his one failing, is he doesn't have as much posability in his feet, but he can still hold some awesome poses. Now as you can see, he's based off of his IDW design. Alright, and he's got the shoulder things. If you don't want them, you can slide these down and not have that look. That's entirely up to you. I tend to think they look good like that. Alright. Let's get a close-up of that face, because that's just, you know, he has a nice face sculpt for Springer. Look at that. That is Springer from G1. You can't deny that. And he has nice light piping, as you can see. I can close it off. There you go. Really, he's really well done. I mean, out of the two figures, yeah, I think he has gotten somewhat of a pass, more than Blitzwing has, but he really is the better of the two. Neither one of them is bad, but he is the better of the two. Now, as you see here, I've still got this in rotor mode. I told you I'd show you how to turn it into a sword. And you see, it spins nicely, nice and freely there. You lift up the green part and untab it, and it tabs in, you know, down into those things there. These come together, so this all gets locked nicely. You see? Now it won't rotate, and it's his sword. Nicely done, and it was engineering that really wasn't necessary, but is very much appreciated. Alright, we're going to bring in G1. You see G1 Springer. Nothing in the way of articulation other than his arms move just like Blitzwing. He's got a lot of wear and tear on this one. I do have repro labels on him, so he looks at least a little better. Has a hard time standing, but still. For triple changers have always been the hardest thing to engineer in Transformers, because you got to come up with distinct modes that, you know, are different enough to be, you know, like a plane, a tank, helicopter, car, you know, things like that. So you got to give a little bit of leeway when you consider a triple changer figure. Nothing's going to be perfect. Springer is probably about the closest you're going to get to a perfect triple changer. He is probably the best of all the triple changers we've ever gotten from Hasbro. Alright? Alright, give me a second. I'm going to do one more thing. And as a parting shot, thought this would be kind of cool. Here's Springer with my 86 lineup of classics, figures, plus, you know, Masterpiece Grimlock, which actually fits with these guys, given his size, and, you know, Protector and, you know, City Commander, blah, blah, blah. Thought you guys would like seeing that. So you see, he fits in nicely with them. Really nicely. The only RCs I really have is the Transformers Prime one and Animated, and they just don't really mesh with these as well. So there you go, guys. That's Springer. He's a really cool figure. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. If you can only get one of the two triple changers, get Springer. He's a slightly better figure, and you don't really have to do any fixes on him like you do with Blitzwing. Alright? You guys all be good, or I'm going to send the cast from the 1986 third season of Transformers G1 after you. So there you go. Alright? Later.